cattle in India is only 19 crores and we have 130 crores of people or even more in India. So why is it, Maharaj Garu, that we are not able to project ourselves in mainstream media as something beyond a Hindu-Muslim issue? Why are we not able to say milk is a right of every child in India? Non-contaminated milk is a right of every child in India.
Basically, this has been a common question. Only thing is, after the independence, when we're having a beautiful policy matter that's such, where we have aired it with our indigenous pre-days, there was a push for green revolution. There was a push for the white revolution. All those things were there, you know that in history. When it came to make available milk and probably a kind of a economic boost also to the
why is it that today no common man is able to say that I am getting uncontaminated milk? Today, a may be giving us milk. Their way of checking the fat is only checking if that milk has enough fat. Now, how do we know that the person who's selling that milk, are they adding something to give that fat component of it? Why is it that none of us are questioning that milk should be accessible to all the children in our country? Why is it that in the land of Krishna and Gomata, in the land where Venkateswara was given milk by the cow, that we Indians are not able to provide milk to our own children? If we were smart enough to make egg and chicken available, why are we not smart enough to make milk available? See, these are questions I'm asking. The reason I'm asking these questions is because in India, it has become a Hindu-Muslim issue. Now, whether it is a Hindu child or a Muslim child, we are not giving milk to our kids. Just because 1,700 slaughterhouses across the country, and to protect 1,700 slaughterhouses across the country, we have made it a Hindu-Muslim issue. How is it that this is not being projected out? How is it that all the cow fighters in the country are being blamed as Bajrang Dal, as BJP, and not as a mainstream topic where we need to make milk accessible to every household? If there were 50 cows available for 100 human beings just a few years ago, why is it by 1922, 23 cows are available for every human in India? And what is the situation today? Total population of the bovines, the cattle in India is only 19 crores. And we have 130 crores of people or even more in India. So why is it, Maharaj Garu, that we are not able to project ourselves in mainstream media as something beyond a Hindu-Muslim issue? Why are we not able to say milk is a right of every child in India? Non-contaminated milk is a right of every child in India.
Basically, this has been a common question. Only thing is, after the independence, when we're having a beautiful policy matter that's such, where we have aired it with our indigenous pre-days, there was a push for green revolution. There was a push for the white revolution. All those things were there, you know that in history. When it came to make available milk and probably a kind of a economic boost also to the farming people and the villagers and the economy, probably somewhere or the other, we forgot that we ourselves have the great number of them, the species which you are going to shoulder the cause. And you must have seen it for yourself. All of them have, from Europe, for the last 40 to more than 50 years of it. There were some policy matters Millions have been imported. There is a species which gives you a white form of a fluid. She may be a living thing over there. I don't know where it came along, how it crept into it, the policy matter. There may be a money involved in it, and it went on for next 40 to 45 years. And then today we bang our heads. No, that has a bad impact on our health. We have our own healthy cows, healthy products, and all that. So to set right whatever has been done historically wrong, you cannot just on one day push them away and all that. You need to on the policy matter. That's it. You're right. For everything, it is just not cow. Whatever we speak, even speaking on our language, we fight. I mean, this divisive kind of, we don't know where anybody gets what should I say, benefited out of it. But that has become a culture of our subcontinent. New generation is frustrated with this. We know that. We have so many youngsters coming along discussing so many concrete aspects of it. Today in universities, even in different fraternities, there is a talk to set right ourselves. There cannot be a man coming from outside setting right. And that's where in policy matters as such, execution of the policy matters. It will be very beautiful on paper. Today, when I talk about the survival of the cattle, it just cannot be just because we believe in something and the police is holding them and getting down over here. No, there is this law existing on the ground. There is the law of the land, and that's where the whole thing puts into that mechanics, and they are brought over here. So execution of the law. I mean, that's where I said in my talk, when first time when I saw Doraji, I mean, that is all it was. And today, after him, till yesterday, it was Mahendra Reddy Garu and to execute the law. Even with the Prabha Shankar Mishra ji was there. He was the Chief Justice. And the judiciary never realized that this subject going to be very hot. On every table, there will be, it may be a junior magisterial court, or this subject is going to be there to be discussed. The law people did not have an iota of this subject at all. So then it becomes a difficult aspect to handle the subject as such. Today, you're right, sentimentally, so many, not just cow, all the other subjects have been tortured in a fashion that the whole society is always burning. And we forget about the concrete aspects of it. And this probably has suffered like that. And Government of India and the state governments, policy matters, I'll tell you. When we got bifurcated, the two Telugu states, and policy, everybody can build up. And Chandrababu Naidu ji, when he took up for the first time over there, he started realizing the dairy aspect. And what he did was, in his first term, the subsidized feed and fodder to the farmer cattle on a highly subsidized base, which is available just like that, the green fodder for 2 rupees. And the complete, they call it TMR, complete total mixed ration. So that was also on a highly subsidized rate at 3.5. That was an input subsidy which was given. So that even a poor one, and probably ultimately it is going to give you back in the product which you are going to get it through cattle. That's why it was done. And here in Telangana, it was thought in a different manner. For a few months, it was said that, the person is getting selling his milk, farmer or somebody, we are going to give him, extra money over there. Not with this. But the thoughts are different. But somewhere or the other, help them up is an important aspect. Today, direct money transfer, wherein a poor farmer, you must have realized Mandrega has been a beautiful aspect of it. He has to get it. He has to sell it somewhere so that he gets an another out of it. I mean, a person, if he has to, is scared of his own product which is available with him, which he cannot consume. It is a kind of a fight for survival. Why a person has that? He has on his hand or half a liter of a milk probably in 1960, 65 or 70, 72. He was scared of it. And that's where the weekly card came into and then they started collecting probably for 20 annas, 25 annas, 30 annas. And when the money started flowing into that poor farmer, then he started breathing. So probably it's a small beginning in the cooperative sector like that. So there these policy matters which have been done, which I was talking about. Today animal welfare activity budget 5 crores, wherein 4 crores are already for the establishment charters. What is the welfare we are going to do? How a ministry has to, how a state government, I mean, this is a state subject actually, assisted by the central government. That is one thing. And then this is something to do with the policy matters in the government. And we all as, probably concerned citizens as such, what can we do about it? And that's where the Seva Samsthas, Gauchalas, rescue shelters come into picture. And here is a time now. What I have seen is today there is a realization, respect our own indigenous breed. People are asking. Today, every day, more than dozen people are there in ashram. I want a cow, I want a cow, I want a devni cow, and like this, like that, and all that from across the sections. So I think the time is not far away. That's where we as a concerned citizen have to give a push to those aspects. So that the question you asked, why they are away from this milk? I mean, there was a guy called Ashok Agarwal, who was actually a cloth merchant. What he did was he started a small dairy at one of the places here on the Bangalore Highway. There is a school which has around 300-400 children over there. The absolute holy aspect was to see that the children every day, the milk is to be given to them. That dairy farm has to provide that. So he had some good milking in the cows and all that. That was the effort which he put across. That day in and out, he used to work for it. He was from a merchant's family. Until he was alive, if was somewhere or the other, he was able to, pull it around. But very unfortunately, he passed away, and everything got stopped.
Mel, would you like to ask your question?
Thank you very much on very interesting presentation. And I want to ask you a question. How protecting cows can support improvement social and economic well-being?
Yeah, this is absolutely a basic question as such. So anybody who has today, we have a mechanism called, one or two milk yielding cows would support to another more than half a dozen which are suffering. It is a proven fact. And it takes along the family who is looking after them. Absolutely all their welfare is taken up. Today we have recorded, facts of the farmers who've been suffering, and when we gave them this kind of a support, the multiple offsprings have come. They have in turn supported the other people. So economically, when you talk about it, milk is the one which you talked about. The world knows about it. It's a never-dying industry as such. Along with it, there are so many aspects of it. It may be the product which come out of milk and the other aspects of it. So I think today, for any country as such, that's why I said, when we care about the agriculture, these are two sides of the same coin. We in our, personally, or when we talk about the common people, say suppose Godavari districts and Krishna districts, where in plenty of water and all that, on the Krishna belt and all that, we have cared about agriculture. And it's, why did we leave paddy? We have to question ourselves. And today I see people around from Krishna Delta to Machilipatnam to, Nizamabad and elsewhere in Telangana, from Karimnagar. They come here to take a lot of suggestions, have these products, ask for cattle. And the irony is, the high-tech city like Hyderabad is housing around more than 8,000 to 10,000 right out of the city. And if you go on a countryside around 50 kilometers away from here, you have to search for a single cattle. That is very, very bad. That's where it is alarming.
I'd like to add to his question.
Yeah.
Your question was, how will the underprivileged society be benefited by cows, right?
Yeah.
Shwelji, if what I would like to say is, today the soil fertility in our country has come down drastically. Today in India, I'm not too sure there are many people who are going away out without a meal. There is food, but is this food nutritious? Are they able to have access to a glass of milk? Is the underprivileged family able to give their one or two children a glass of milk? Are they able to give nutritious food? That, according to me, is wealth. When we say Ashtalakshmi in India, wealth is about providing nutritious food for your children. And we are not able to do that because the percentage of cows versus humans in India has come down. And this has led to organic manure going into the soil, coming down, replaced by fertilizers. This has in turn impacted the soil organic carbon. In 1950s, if it was 1%, today it's 0.3%. The soil is no longer what it used to be. We are no longer, today the problem in India for the underprivileged is not food. The problem is we're not being able to give nutritious food. And yes, your question is pertinent, and no, it is not being addressed. As Maharaj ji said, the animal husbandry is a state topic, and the entire government, am I right, that in the center has only allocated 5 crores?
Yeah.
5 crores for the entire country for 19 crores of cattle has been put aside. And out of this 5 crores, as he mentioned, 3.5 crores is going into salaries. 1.5 crore has to be spread across the country. And today, there is a huge issue, just like there is female feticide, there is male feticide in the cattle. This is a terrible thing. My own family, Mr. Mullapudi Narendranath, has at one point of time taken the Ongol sperm from India to Brazil. And it is surprising, as Maharaj ji has said, today, for breeding, you don't have sperms in India. As Maharaj ji said, there were 24 buffaloes taken from Hyderabad to Kerala. That is the ground reality, which is not in the media. Because the minute media opens it up, it's a Hindu-Muslim issue. These realities are not being put in the papers.
Another, because of whenever we talk about these aspects, the resources have to be allocated and different. Even when I've been trying to put up with the different organizations or business houses, specifically about the CSR aspect, the definition of the programs, it's a beautiful thing that something has to be spent on a blind school, old age homes, the few things for the allocated to the education, a little about today about afforestation. These are seen in a very, very, very small frame as such. There is not much of a the greater realization about the subject, the greater emphasis has to be given to a larger definition. That makes it very difficult because they just escape saying that it doesn't fit into the definition. I've been talking to a few public sector people, like corporations like LIC and all that. And another problem with our people is to see when I talk about the feed and fodder aspect, they tell me outright it's a perishable item. They do realize it is important. They do realize in this kind of a program, when we talk about to the society, one is in the care and maintenance, the biggest of it is feed and fodder, the veterinary care and all that. Second thing is infrastructure. Third has to be logistics. These are three important aspects. When the huge, large
infrastructure, logistics, can you repeat what you meant?
Logistics is to get feed and fodder, lorries, you need to have tractors, you have to have cleaning operation had to be it cannot just be possible human efforts only with the manual thing. So you have to have a semi-mechanized kind of a thing. Today what we do in Gaushala is the leveler blade of which is being used in agriculture, which is reinforced with a old lorry tire rubber, so that it immediately collects the whole cow dung acid and puts it in a corner and we use earth mover like JCB to lift feed and fodder, bulk feed and fodder, and also cleaning operation as such. So mechanically, because there is a 4-tier program. One is this: we are in the city like Hyderabad. Then you have to take up these kinds of activities in a suburban and district level. That is second tier. Third tier is your mandal, tahsil, taluka, small towns. This is third tier, and the fourth tier is remote places, which are probably you have tribals, you have to work with them. Remote places. So everywhere you have merits and challenges. Merits and one thing cannot be replicated over here. See, we are all here today on Vishwa, this thing, to make this happen in its natural habitat. It has to be reversed. This is the challenge which you are talking now. It just cannot be in like an exhibition in a certain place in Hyderabad. So where you don't find them over there in tribal areas, it is alarming. You don't find a cattle over there, a cow over there, a buffalo over there. So this is where this 4-tier program. And here in a city like this, when they have left over in highways sometimes, the rescued cattle are left over, so we need to have our own lorries, and we have to go in for a special permission with the police. They have been very kind enough, time and again. We have a couple of vehicles like that so that they can help us out, because we don't know the time. Because to run a big lorry or a big vehicle in a city limits, there are all sorts of restrictions. So on that restrictions, can you imagine? So a couple of vehicles are not possible to get a feed. Average feed which comes to this Gaushala is all over from 150 to 200 kilometers every day. And at least 20 to 22 vehicles have to be brought in, big and small. Big, I mean to say at least 10 to 12 tons. And the small ones, I say, which is around 5 to 6 tons. So this is how the whole work has to be done on everyday basis. It is probably...
I just close the question with
Yeah.
Do you have anything to... Did you get your question answered? Do you have any further query?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I just wanted to add to what you're saying, Andy.
Please.
Today we have Tirupati Devasthanam.
Yeah.
Venkateswara Swami, all of us know, survived on cow's milk.
Yeah, absolutely.
How much money is Tirupati Devasthanam setting aside for Goshalas across Andhra or Telangana?
Very nice question, because this was the first institution which went in with this particular subject to the, that time it was Dharma Prachara Parishad Secretary, Maharaj Mohanji, long back in 92, 93. And not much of a realization that there was no Goshala at all. On the top, from the Royal Wars period, there was a small one. And after that, because there is a veterinary university for a long time down out there, I've been asking them, putting them, humbly requesting them. I mean, our philosophy is to say that you can have a dairy farm, you can have another for a commoner. Tirumal Tirupati Devasthanam Trust Board had to go in first to see that they have to survive. Dairy farm, anybody can assist them with any product. That's a secondary aspect of it. If she survived, then, see, as you rightly said in the beginning, I mean, even a child knows that when the Kamadhenu was feeding Swami and somebody wanted to grab her, and when he threw a axe, Swami came along, and today you see a scar on his forehead or something. So that is the history. Govinda is Govinda, people don't realize the definition. So with all the time I've been told with all people, it was L.V. Subramanianji, Bangaranga, PVR K. Prasadji was there at that time. So please do something concrete about it. And then very recently, last 10 years back, they had a dairy farm. I said, why dairy farm again? We have to have a place like wherein you rightly said there's so much of abundant resources for Gose. First to at least for Rayalaseema, see that a farmer cannot keep a aged one, or it has been caught hold, this kind of illegal activity and all that. Tirupati must be the first, probably with all our effort today. The new regime is there and all that. We have been requesting them have to have a rescue shelter first. Nobody should be, scared. So you can just call up and take his cattle down out there. Those have to be taken care of. Secondary, they can attach the dairy farm, attach other products and all that. That can be done. And about specific budget aspect.
Correct.
Individually, probably they have been early regimes also. Even the EOs, all that they've been taking decisions on singular basis. I believe after the Goshala was there in 2013-14, I believe they have started budgeting a separate this thing, and they have they call it Tirumala Tirupati Go Samrakshana Shala Trust. There is a trust to it, and a separate budget has been given to them. And there is a director who is heading the and reporting it to the EOs and all that. So there is a whole lot of a mechanism, the whole secretarial practice down out there. That has to be lubricated. Things have to move in this fashion. And things which we see as stagnant had to reach out in a welfare manner. That is the challenge today with it is just not with Tirupati Tiruman Devasthanam. It is with the Shankaracharya Peetham the other day when he was here with folded hands. I'd been there with the Shekhar Bhartiji, with the Kanchikamaku Peetham, all realize it. This is the first and the foremost program. Golden minaret can be put later on, right? I've been going to the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. There is a warmth over there, you see. Every day there is a Bhagavad Gita discourses. Every day there is so much big, done. But some or the other, the generation along, they are not aware of the present situation, how she is suffering. Even people who have a couple of cattle over there or a gaujala there and with a particular breed and all that, they don't know. That's where probably with a lot of patience, today we need to take this subject to those people who can be really shouldering the cause. I'll tell you a classic example. There is one person called Krishna, Dasari Krishna in US. He's in California. He's been there for the last 15 to 20 years. He is very attached with the subject. There is a place called Vargani in near Guntur. Sitting down over there, working for IT industry, putting down his resources over there. He has a small, he bought a land and he was caring about it and all that. Locally, he was finding it difficult to shoulder them. He was putting all that funding and all that. And somehow he came to know about it, ashrama and a couple of times when we were on this Zoom kind of a thing and all. He said, please help me out, Maharajji. We have more numbers over there. Nobody is. So sometimes what has happened is around 200, 250 of them have been brought from Guntur. I said, don't do. And don't go with, ask them like, somebody, we don't know what is there in their heart. He is doing a very good work. He finds it very difficult over here, putting all his efforts over there to run this show. There was a man very recently for Amalapuram. He is Mr. Ramakrishna. He is very attached with the subject. Since he is very attached with the subject, there is this challenges all around. The families are away from him. I was surprised. He cannot collect feed and fodder in Amlapur. It is like a Switzerland for us. And today, he was crying like a baby when he was here. I was stunned, actually. Why people are not there to support? And very recently, I realized you must have come through. I don't know this because that's why we say it is divine. Now, the Amalapuram district is suffering with saline water, salty. The backwaters of the ocean, he is hitting badly. All the coconut trees, all its flora and fauna. I think somewhere or the other, which we have treated her, this subject so very badly. I think the Prakriti, which we call, she is eating us in another manner. Today they are crying. I mean, there is a policy matter with the government of Andhra Pradesh today. How do we reverse this aspect? You must have come to know about this very recent subject. You cannot imagine Amalapuram going, getting deserted. So that's very, I said it is alarming. It is nothing to do with some business or some profits or something. It is our lives which is at stake. It is so serious. Every other subject can be discussed later. Today it is alarming. Make all others understand, please. something to be done about this. And that's where make other organizations, people make them convince them,
A question, sir.
Yeah.
Government of Andhra and Telangana are ready to give lands for smashanam for the Muslim community. How
Yeah.
many acres of land has been set aside, rescue centers or goshalas across Telangana or Andhra?
I think that is also on a very baby stage. When there will when a lot of thought being given, ministries have been a number of times been requested. For that matter, historically we have Gochara Bhumi. They are known as Gochara Bhumi. They have been there in the revenue records. With all the credentials checked up, they can always provide a little support like that. Presently, with the Telangana government, with the Konda Madam Sureka ji, a couple of months back, we did request her with the it goes through the endowment department, and today Shailaja Iyer ji is there, the principal secretary to it. We have given in the subject. This is how it is. So they have to take a proactive role. It is a request all the time. The government has to take it. It is for their own good.
How many acres of land does your Goshala have?
No, today we are in what should I say? It is like a Gaza strip. We have to survive. Wherever there are land, there is hardly any seva over there.
Why do you have to put
more than 500
house in 5-floor building?
Why? That's where it is. I've been with. Can you believe
what is the land you have? What is the number of
houses you have? Around 6 acres of land, and built-in area around 6 acres. So that's why I said we are in a war zone.
How many floors?
There are 4 floors. 4.
So you are in a 6-acre land in Hyderabad. With
yes.
You have built 5 floors to protect.
Yeah, 5 floors.
And how many cows do you keep with you?
Absolutely, each one of them could around 800 to 1200 of them, depending on the sizes and all that.
Around Hyderabad, has the Telangana government given any land for Go Seva?
No, not till today, because the present government has taken a decision in the early days saying that they would like to have a welfare activity like this in a couple of corners, at least 4 corners and all that. And they did select, Vemalwada as one, wherein they are going to give 100 acres to them. And then probably in somewhere in the Mahbub Nagar area or Kodangal area. So you need to have them. Policy matters do take a little time. But till they come, we all have to put our efforts.
So it's wonderful that the Telangana government is considering putting up
absolutely
Vemulwada and Mahbub.
I heard it is the same with the Chandrababu Naidu ji also.
But they have given only half an acre as of now.
As of now. So, there is always some challenge, a new thing which comes in. The person, probably it would take a little time. But there is a realization. That's for sure.
So there is a question from Miss Gayatri Kumar. The underprivileged is because leaving our villages and leaving the association of cows and bulls. Cows ideally should not be in goshalas, but they should be in grazing grounds.
Yes.
We all should live in harmony. Now the forests are being destroyed. The grazing lands are destroyed for industries, residential complexes. How do we stop these real estate agencies to not use the reserved lands and forests for urbanization?
All this starts, as you rightly see, that charity starts at home. Even the biggest of builders have to think that I should not be touching this. Very recently, you must have seen Hyderabad survives because of 111 GO. You know that. And suddenly, at the end of the fag end of the program, the government comes up with a program that it is on the table for the purchase. All this. And thanks for Green Tribunal, it all stopped. We all breathe because of Anandagiri 50 years, 80, 60 years back. Where you have a tuberculosis rehabilitation center down over there. Gandipet, which you call during the time of British and Nizams. Himayat Sagar, all that breathing area, water, drinking water, potable water, whatever we call. So all this, we need to protect ourselves. A person, we need to realize that we are killing ourselves. So unless we do that, any policy matter as such, any policing, there has to be things in place. There has to be laws in place. Execution has to be done properly. That's all fair. But when every individual realizes that, that's a good question, because a person, today what is happening, I get a lot of people from tribal areas also. He is doing his, software, job or his post-graduation was 1 year. He comes for seva. And he says, no, naku kommuluto bhayam avutundi. A boy from a tribal area tells you that there is this knowledge which has been broken, which was traditionally flowing. So what is happening is a doctor from AIT comes down here for seva, puts up his sleeves and all that, works in our clinic or there for a couple of hours without any problem. In that cow dung, with that, probably she's bleeding, house flies out there, trying to clean it up. All that being done by a metropolis person. But a person or a boy or a girl who is coming from. So that is another thing which is hitting very badly. That's where we need to make them understand. And today you would be surprised. A boy in a Siddipet area has taken a couple of bulls from me, and he's actually been professor, very engaged. He's been married with 2 children, 15 acres of land. He is running a cold press with, you know that, bull pressing oil, this thing. He says, I have a lot of earning with this. I am not worried about it. He has resigned from the professorship. So there is this reversal aspect, probably less in number, but the ones who have realized it, working with the corporate, working in a government organization, people do come from different fields. The other day, there were doctors around, one from orthopedic, one from cardiac, and they said, for the last 22 years we've been working, we want to put an end to this, and immediately join this. We have bought a land here, bought a land there. I said, don't do this. I'm not fancy ideas you can just put along. You keep working with this, parallelly try to put a effort on this direction. That's how we have to guide them properly, practically. Today we see on seminars and podiums and all that, this talk of organics and something happening rosy, some few photographs along. No, it's a fight for life. And one thing is for sure, taking sannyasam is easy, and working as an agriculture farmer is a tough job, I'll tell you. He is the only person who gives you the Paramatman sowing something on a barren land and having the Annapurna Darshan. Sakshatkaram is done by only farmer, not even any saint. That is how it is important.
Sir, I would like to add another question. What is the situation? Okay, somebody will put a dairy. What is the situation of actually getting workers to work in dairy farms?
You must be surprised. Today, even if in Hyderabad, all along you see so many dairy farms, paying them like a corporate people. There are Yadavs from Bihar, Chhattisgarh, our own people down over there, working as there are in charge for the labor work, the basic labor. It's a what should I say, skilled labor work. I cannot say just a labor work. It's a skilled thing, and they are available today. Nothing to. For half a dozen of them, we are all our own effort can do. You don't need to have half a dozen of them. A big thing like that, you have people around, and it is only have to realize how we can make things happen, and for their own good, and at the same time the people who are working.
Are the Telugus working at the? Are you getting Telugu people to work in Delhi?
There are Telugu people also with us from Nagar district, Rangareddy ఉన్నారమ్మా.
ఆంధ్ర తెలంగాణలో దొరుకుతున్నారండి.
దొరుకుతున్నారు అని అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఏమైందంటే ఇది అత్యవసరము, నేను హ్యావ్ టు వర్క్, నాకు ఇది అనుకూలము అనేటటువంటి వాళ్ళు ఎప్పుడైతే రియలైజ్ అయ్యారో, నౌ ఇస్ ద థింగ్, నౌ ఇస్ ద రైట్ టైం. ఇది వరకు ఏంటంటే ఈ హాఫ్ ఏకర్ అమ్మేద్దాము, ఈ 1 acre అమ్మేద్దాము, అలా కాకుండా ఈ హాఫ్ ఏకర్ ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ విత్ మీ, ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు లీజ్ అవుట్ అనదర్ 5 acres of land. And I have seen, I'll give you a number of examples. Their own grandchildren have flew down from the America, and they are staying down out there back in their villages. They are running the agriculture show. Isn't it absolutely phenomenal? What
percentage?
That's where it is a beginning. What is important is it's a beginning. So the fleeing has happened for years together. We need to give a little time to them, and have a patience to make them understand. And they should not think, suddenly things cannot change. In, all the other profession, there can be, those digital kind of a run. This, ఇది ప్రకృతితో కూడుకున్నటువంటిది కనుక ఇట్ హ్యాస్ ఇట్స్ ఓన్ టైం. అక్కడ పేషెన్స్ కావాలి. అది అలాగే చేతి. ఇప్పుడు అగ్రికల్చర్ ఉంది, ఎవరో ఇక్కడ బిల్డర్ నాకు 2 3 10 అంటాడు. ఆ రిజల్ట్స్ అక్కడ ఉండవు. ఆ దృష్టి ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ తో అది చూడడానికి పోతాయి, ఇబ్బంది పడతారు. కానీ అది తీసేసి ప్రాక్టికల్ రియలైజేషన్స్ ఇఫ్ ఆర్ దేర్, చాలా ఆనందంగా ఆ కార్యక్రమం ముందుకు సాగుతుంది. దేర్ ఆర్ పీపుల్ అరౌండ్, many of them have left already. They wanted to, 10 years back or 5 years back, they wanted to sell their farmland, their own village house. They have not done it. So that is a beginning for us. And we should see that somewhere or the other, we give probably a space to them, environment to them, new youngsters.
Done. Vilas, very pertinent point you have put, that there is a little hope that there are people who want to protect their family homes, their village homes, and come back and take care of their farming and their animal husbandry. Question was with Gayatri Kumar. Yes.
Yeah, so very valid point actually. Maharaj had said that it starts with us. We have to protect our villages. We should not sell the grazing lands or sell our land, if at all anybody has. And I have personally seen, I've visited multiple dairy farming, where people are doing this dairy farming. I've personally seen them. So first of all, they do artificial insemination, which is against, I feel it's, which is not at all a valid thing. It's like a rape, raping a girl or raping a woman. So one thing is, we should not encourage dairy farming. We can encourage some products made out of cow dung or cow urine, if at all somebody wants to do some, income out of the cows. Yes, cows naturally they give birth to a baby when mated with a bull. That should be a natural process, not that, we have dairy farm and then we promote artificial insemination and then we have more of cows and then when the bulls are born, they are sent to the slaughterhouse. So I think we should not encourage dairy farming. We can encourage a village setup where people stay with the cow.
That's what the question which during my startup, this thing, which I told you, what we've been encouraging was, because of our society being put into that corner, humans have been trying to have this, the female feticide, and there are a whole lot of, societal factors which we have been pushing them along. That cannot be one factor. That is being addressed in a way. Similar way in cattle, this has been done. Now, ashram for the last 30 years, what we have done is, whenever we present to a farmer a cow, we give it with a bull. He says, no, I want 2 female cows. I said, no.
Exactly.
What we do is, we only encourage them with a couple. So, wherever we have given, like Alipiri Tanda, very in a near vicinity towards the Nagarjun Sagar, different other places, when we have given them beautiful results, they're able to, in turn, set the examples. They've been helping others also. So, I think you're right. This have to be a natural way of it. Make people understand.